welcome back to another Lorwyn Eclipse video. Welcome to Lorwyn. It's Lorwyn. It's Lorwyn Eclipse. We're playing Lorwyn Eclipse today. Hello, I'm here. It's me. I'm Doomwake. Welcome to another Lorwyn Eclipse standard video. I don't really know what I was trying to do with that intro. Just kind of, I'm a little loopy today, all right? But we are going to be playing some decks that you may or may not see featured on the Pro Tour this weekend. Which, by the way, if you guys haven't seen the metagame, this particular deck list was labeled on the Pro Tour metagame slide as Is It Spellelementals? Now, we don't actually know what the official deck list or anybody playing this particular deck looks like, but it was on the PT metagame at roughly about 4%. So don't be surprised to see something similar to this appear in the PT over the weekend. So this particular list that I found from the regional championship in Portland. Unfortunately, the person playing this deck didn't make day 2 of competition. They finished at a 5-4 record, I think after starting 5-1, so a little bit of a rough run towards the end. But basically the concept here is you are utilizing the fact that Eddie Merc Crab is an elemental. It's not just a crab. And why is that important? Well, Sunderflock costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest mana value among elementals you control. So if you take the traditional Is It Spells deck, which is, what you see in front of you, playing a bunch of instants and sorceries, opt and sleight of hand for cantrips, you have a bunch of interaction like Burst Lightning, Seer, Spell Snare, Fire Magic, some cantrips and stock up, and then not only Eddie Merc Crab is an elemental, also, well, Hearth Elemental. Guess what? It's an elemental, which means you have 8 different ways, 8 different big creatures, all of which discount your Sunderflock by a very significant amount, and all of which happen to work with all of the cheap spells that you already wanted to play in your Is It Terror, well, there's no terrors here, but Is It Spells deck. So that is really the concept. It's just a bunch of cheap spells, these cards that you would want to play anyways because they pair nicely with a bunch of cheap spells, and they also both happen to be elementals. Sunderflock is probably the one card in the entire format that is just completely lights out against the Simic, any of the Ouroboros decks. Doesn't even have to be Simic. It could be Bant, 4-color, 5-color, 6-color, 7-color. Doesn't matter. If they're playing Cub and they're playing Manadorks, Sunderflock is amazing because they just have to pick up all of their stuff. Notably, Bramble Familiar is an elemental, so if they're playing against the airbending version, they're not going to pick up that one. But notably, they also have to bounce their airbending lands. Normally, when you remove airbending lands from the table, they come back to play. Not in this case. They just get picked up right into their hand. And the nice thing about this is you actually have now, you at least have a Sunderflock in play. And then in order to cast the Sunderflock, you also have some other large threat. So you're clocking them in for 5, playing the Sunderflock, bouncing all their stuff. Now they basically have to spend God knows how long replaying all their stuff, and then they just kind of, they really just can't do anything at that point. So that is the entire deck list. We're also playing a couple of ill-timed Explosion, because, as you know, sweepers, weirdly enough, very good against the green decks, and ill-timed specifically lets you dump spells into the graveyard. So even if you do it for 2 or something, you can discard a 2-mana spell and 1 other spell, and that sort of turbocharges your crabs and elementals a little bit. Mana base also upgraded with steam vents, so that is very, very important. And then in the sideboard, we got your usual stuff: Graveyard Hate, Annul, counter spells, more planeswalkers. Most importantly, Sunspine Lynx. Guess what? It's an elemental. It's probably going to come up. So this is what we are cooking with here. Again, there is a good chance that this deck list in some form or fashion is going to be played at the Pro Tour this weekend. And I gotta tell you, after playing this version today, I think if there's as many Cubs as we expect there to be, which, spoiler alert, there is, I could very well see this deck having a good weekend at the Pro Tour. So without further ado, that is the intro, and I will see you back here in just a little bit for the first match. It's a good deck. I think you gotta say goodbye to the flock. I hate to say it, but I mean, we're playing 22 lands. We'll draw a land. For sure, right? For sure, right? I mean, we wouldn't just miss a land drop here. That'd be insane. Gift locked. All right, this is spell number 3. So spell number 3 is going to make elemental cost 3. So I don't even have to take a land off of this. I can just take 2 opts. Right? Yeah. And then I can go opt, hearth, turn after flock. Because flock will cost 3. I just don't even need the Verge. I can already cast the Elemental. The Verge doesn't do that much for me. Because I can still go Elemental and then flock the turn after. I mean, we're cooking. We have to hope that we don't die next turn. Well, that's a good sign. That probably means we're not dying next turn. What? They just passed? What do you think their hand is? Wrong answers only. I mean, now I'll just play Eddie. Edward Merkington. Go, I guess? I don't need to do it now. There we go. Can I go Flock double Hearth next turn? Jesus Christ, this deck is nice. Rhythm for 2. Sure. I mean, you can have a Cub. Also, by the way, Sunderflock is really good against... Yeah, play another Cub. Yeah! Mm-hmm. I don't think you're gonna like what's about to happen, opponent. I really don't think you're gonna like this. We'll see you next time. We'll see you in game 2. That might do it. That actually might do it, honestly. That's gonna be close. Alright, flock my ass. No! Attack. They're at Juan. Blue. I mean, I just can't lose if I kill the Cub, right? There's just nothing they can do. GG! Okay, sure. Yeah, you got it, buddy. Don't spend all that mana in one place. Would you say they got murked? No, I would say they got flocked. I flocked the shit out of them that game. Okay, Cub deck. Cub player spotted. Cub player spotted. This is a small preview of the PT. I mean, I don't know if my deck list is exactly what people submitted, but Is It Spelementals was 4.5% of the metagame, and I got to imagine it's close to this. Right? I don't know if they're playing, I don't know what they're playing, 12 creatures. I don't know if they have main deck this, but like the general core of Hearth, Crab, Flock, cantrips, removal spells, stock ups, that's probably similar, right? All right, I need to remove 3 cards from my deck against Cub, and I believe it is just stock up. I'm going to click done. Yeah, the Flock Showcase art already paying off. There's not really a lot of rares. I guess the mana base, but I mean, if you play enough standard, you probably have a lot of the lands already, anyways. I think the real ones keep this hand. Real ones keep this hand, right? Yeah, I'm keeping it. I mean, bro, it's like, look at this fucking hand. Uh-oh. I don't like this. I don't like this. I'm not a big fan of what's happening. Land me, land me, land me, land me, land me. Fuck. I could have just let that resolve, but if I let it resolve and don't draw a land, I'm dead. So. Yeah. I'll do this. Would you like to tap your passage and float a green? I guess they could have another green card in their hand, so. Alright, sure. Okay. They have 3 in hand. If I don't Clasm, they can roid me, so I should do this, yeah. I don't want to get roided. They didn't play a land last turn, did they? Yeah. I cast 3 mana, 5/4. You're gonna stroke my ass? Come on. Boo. Boo. All right, your turn. I think our matchup against Cub is good. What do you guys think? I think we have a good Cub matchup. I even need that? I don't think I do. I guess, like, land would have let us go Cub plus Snare, but we don't need to. Yeah, whatever. Get flocked. Get absolutely flocked. Flocka, 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 flocka. Oh no, not a 1/3. How do I beat a 1/3? Chat, do you guys have any idea how I beat a 4-mana 1/3? Any ideas? Okay, good game. Well, get absolutely flocked. I mean, it's not perfect, but I would just rather have Flock DD than Flocka. What does Flocka look like? This is what Jose sent me. This is Flocka. Waka waka. Waka flocka. Put them side by side. I can't do that. I don't have the technology to do that. You think Flocka's better? Alright, fine. I'll add Flocka. Save image. I guess I have to save it as a PNG. Can I don't know if 7TV allows PNGs. We're gonna find out. I want to say they do, but... I have to keep this. How many do I have? This is third. So third is Elemental next turn, Flock the turn after. I don't actually need this. Maybe it's safer to take this, but I literally don't need it if I'm going to Flock them, right? I'll take this. Alright, upload. Browse files. Flocka. Emote name. Flocka. Upload. It did let me do a PNG, by the way. Emote is still processing. So here's the unfortunate news. I don't think I'm getting a turn. That's very, very unfortunate. Because I also have to shock this turn. Was I in the play or the draw this game? I don't remember. I was in the draw, right? Yeah, I was in the draw. I probably would have won this game in the play. Welcome to Standard. Welcome to Standard, folks. Win on the play, lose on the draw. All right, I have added Flocka. But now I have to refresh chat. Hold on. I still can't see it. Can you guys see it on... Okay, if I hide chat And then re-add it. Try it again. All right, flash freeze, pyro, stock up, out, done. Do you reckon PT prep houses are just trying to call shots on a die roll? Probably, honestly. I would be very, very curious because I know that a lot of PT teams like keep stats of win rate on play versus draw. I'd be very curious to see what those stats look like. Oh, right. Yeah. I forgot they could just do that. That's a thing they're allowed to do. It's not really fine. I mean, it's not as bad as Rest in Peace would have been, but it's going to buy them a lot of time. I did forget they could just play that card, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's true. They are probably going to have to pop it on turn 2. You may proceed. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to take the ill-timed or the land there, but the land doesn't do that much for me without the ill-timed, so I think taking the ill-timed is better and just hoping to find another cantrip or a land. Oh. Sure. The people who prepared well for Cub will do extremely well this weekend. That's a lot of wells. Insidious fungus. What? Huh? Go. Like, I don't know. There are people who are playing a deck called Is It Spelementals at the Pro Tour, and I'm assuming it's very similar to this. And I think a deck like this seems to be very, very well set up against the Cub decks. No. Okay. I guess they're holding up the Fungussy. Maybe I should have held up Snare that turn. Because now it's kind of awkward if they don't let me convert my Snare. Or I should have held up Freeze that turn. I mean, if they had a 2, they would have played it that turn, right? Okay, I don't know what's in their hand. I would like you to play a 2-drop. That would be very appreciated. You got any 2-drops over there? 3 more Temple Gardens? Well, then I would probably call a judge if that happened. Get flocked. Sleight of hand. I do think I need land 4, right? Yes. Land 4 is also a lot better if they have Soul Guide Lantern. So it plays around that too, which is nice. I mean, I don't know why. What did they keep? And maybe their oops was they accidentally kept a bad hand. Maybe that's what their oops was. Because I don't know what's going on in their hand. I'm gonna flash your ass. Get flashed. Isla. I guess I'll burst this. It doesn't really accomplish that much, but I guess I'll burst it. I don't. If I had enough blue, then I wouldn't do that, but... Ooh, they played a 2-drop. I like them playing a 2-drop. Get absolutely flocked. Yeah, that's fine. I'll allow that. Can 2 spell snares counter at a Roboroid? It should be able to. Last time I checked, it could. We need a flavor judge, though. Technically, within the rules of the game, 2 plus 2 is 4. That is how math works. Last time I checked. Flock, 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 flock. There is your turn. Might even save it here and grab upkeep. Oh man, I'm just going to kill him next turn. They're going to play 2 creatures. I'm going to cast Crab, and I'm going to attack them for 15. What are they going to do? They can't do anything. Yeah, sure. Bet. How many is in there? Okay, I can even let this happen. I can let this trigger resolve. Doesn't even matter. Get Lost Us twice? I guess. Sure. What is your last pathetic card, Yugi boy? Yeah, Lantern not good enough this game. They could have Unwanted Remake. They would survive if they had Unwanted Remake. I'll go to combat. Dang it. Dang you. They could fog me, I guess. They should put actual fog back into standard. Wait, is Condemned legal in Foundations? You actually kind of jump scared me there for a second. If it was legal, I would believe you. Okay, it's not legal. GG. Second Cub player farm. I feel bad for the people watching this on YouTube, because all of our matches are probably going to be against Badgermole Cub. Yeah, all the Badgermole content, but none of the Miley Cyrus. For people watching this on YouTube, you're missing out on the background music. We're listening to Wrecking Ball right now. Plains? That doesn't cast Badgermole Cub. I should do this main phase in case I hit. What's it called? Sleight of hand. Alright, do not rip my ass. Whatever you do, don't cast Rest in Peace. It's the only card I don't want them to have. Oh, I mean, they could just have nothing. I have 2, 3, 4. -2. I might have been a little aggressive -2, but, you know. Shit. You. Go. The Abandoned Air Temple. Got more voices. Ajanye. Okay. Ajanye. 4/5, by the way. 1 mana 4/5. I mean, I'll cast a 1 mana 4/5. Will I? Yeah, I'll cast a 1 mana 4/5. If they have Get Lost, I can Spell Snare it. I was thinking about waiting till next turn so I can go Hearth and Flock in the same turn and just not care about their Get Lost, but I can snare Get Lost. Can we give Elemental +2/+2? What does that mean? Ooh, I don't like that card. I don't like that card. I'm not playing Torch the Tower, so there's nothing I can do about that. This would be a reason to play Torch. Opt. Blood Maw. What does that do? Well, you see, it says return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand if the gift was promised. Instead, return target non-land permanent an opponent controls. True. That is what the card does. I think it's a keep. Just to bounce the Innocence for a turn. I'm not going to do it now, because I am just going to Flock. And then hold up Snare. Be unfortunate if they cast a Wrath this turn, which could very easily be in their hand. I thought about not caring about a Johnny, but I probably should care about a Johnny. That Burst Lightning upstairs is looking a little worse now, because I certainly would have killed the Johnny that turn. And I just have this unspent River Pyre Verge that I could have easily used the Burst Lightning on. I forget, if I bounce their talent with Flood, do they still draw? You may promise an opponent a gift as you cast the spell. If you do, they create a tapped fish token before its other effects. Yeah, they do draw a card. Okay. So I think that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Stand by my side, friend.
I'm not even going to cast the Floodmaw here. Couldn't I have still cast the Hearth that turn even without the burst, though? Because I thought I was 1 over that turn. I think I was 1 over. I don't actually know if I want to Flock him here. I think I'm just going to chill, because I'm worried about them Wrathing. I am really worried about them Wrathing here. And I think I have enough pressure here, you know? I'm just going to chill. How am I beating a Rest in Peace in the post-board games? We'll get there when we get there, okay? I don't really have a good answer for you. But I could Spell Snare it. It's got to count for something, right? Yeah, I mean, we have other threats in the sideboard, too. We have Lynx and Ral. Lynx notably not great against their deck, but I think I am still going to board in the Lynxes. Just because Lynx can help discount the Flocks. I'll probably trim on the Crabs. Yeah, that's fine. You're at 18. That is also fine. I don't even need this. I'm just going to cast Crab, I think. And then hit them for 14. I guess I could have played an Elemental that turn, huh? Because now I don't have an instant speed. Yeah, this was bad. I think I fucked this up. Because now if they have Wrath, I don't have an instant that I can cast on their end step. I should have just played Elemental the turn that I held up Crab. I think that's where I made the mistake. Although if they have Ultima, I can't hold up the Crab if they have Ultima, so. Well, I don't care about that. That's fine. I accept. Yeah, honestly, seeing the way these games play out against Day of Judgment, I do kind of wish that I had Bounce Off instead of Flood Maw. It would be a lot better against the Wrath decks. You want me to guess Flock there? Okay. I was like, wait, what? What are we doing? Got it, Chief. All right, that was the easy game. Now the problem is, how do we beat a Rest in Peace? Well, I got some counter spells at least. So, boarding out at least 2 of these. Honestly, maybe I just board out all of the crabs. Because I am boarding in more elementals, but maybe keeping a 2-2 split is fine. All this stuff is bad. Annul, Bounce, Flood. I think doing it like this is fine. Just don't play any of the red removal. I feel like this makes sense to me. Maybe you could argue Seer over Explosion, because Seer kills a Johnny. That could be something, right? But Explosion's pretty good against their go-wide plan of, like, Overlord, Caretakers, etc., etc. More negate for Rest in Peace. Well, that's what the Annuls are for. Like, we have what? 3... We have 6 ways to counter Rest in Peace. 3 Snare, 2 Annul, 1 Negate. And especially on the draw, having 5 1-mana ways to do it is more important. Because if you load up on Negates, then you can't counter it on the draw. So you'd much rather have the 1-mana way to do it. Right. I think the upside of playing Flood Maw is... So, say, for example, right, your opponent casts a Rest in Peace, and you don't have a counterspell at that time. Then, later on in the game, you cantrip into a counterspell. Then you can go Flood Maw the Rest in Peace end step, untap, counter it. So that's where Flood Maw kind of helps a little bit, but... I'm never mulliganing this hand. I know they're going to Rest in Peace me, but that's fine. I'm just never mulliganing this hand. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, I'm thinking about those Seers now. I'm really thinking about those Seers. Voice is kind of a problem. Alright, well, I'm gonna cast Stock Up and die. Yeah, gonna cast Stock Up and die, just like I said. This is bad. This is real bad. At least I can discard Dayan Size. I don't need 3 of those. I really don't need 3 of those. I think I'm just dead. We have some lands that can evoke Wistfulness for green. Yeah, but the thing about Wistfulness is it's not a spell in the graveyard for the Hearth Elementals and Crabs. So I don't think you want to play a card like that. What am I doing? What am I doing? I think I am casting Opt. Don't want that. I really don't want that. I think I'm bouncing the Innocence. We could just splash for a Naturalize. Oh. Okay. Well, sure. I didn't really think that was going to happen, but I accept. Yeah, we could just splash for Heritage Reclamation. Just 4 Breeding Pool. The nice thing about a green splash is the green verge is blue on the front half. And that really helps out. Because being blue on the front half is a lot better with all your cantrips. Yeah, cash grab could be alright too. Because we can go 2 mana, mill 4. It's an instant itself, and it picks up any of the creatures. I don't know what we'd cut for cash grab though. Probably some of the cantrips, I'm guessing. No, I think tilling is an instant. I think. Pretty sure it's an instant. Well, I did get ripped, but we can now go flock, hold up, stroke if they go for a wrath. But I feel like if they had a wrath, they would have played it last turn. Maybe not. Just don't play voice first. No. I said don't play voice first. Alright, we need more flocks. I need the flock. Well, that's kind of like a flock. They have a lot of cards in hand. Oh boy. Now what? I'm gonna sit up in my chair for this one. Surely it's like bounce off Ral. Probably. I'm curious if they're going to block the Hearth Elemental with the Innocence. Yeah, I wasn't sure if they were going to do that or not. Now that that's happened... Oh. Combo. Right, I actually forgot that was going to happen. I'm just going to do this now. Well... Yeah, let's do this. This is the same thing as bouncing Flock and replaying it, but I can hold up Stroke this way. So if they draw land 6, they might go Wrath into Voice, and then I can counter their Wrath. That's what I was thinking this line accomplishes. Yo, huge combo. I'm going to be honest with you, when I was thinking about them blocking with the Innocence, I forgot that it was going to get exiled. I definitely forgot that. That's not happening. Absolutely not. Okay. It's 17. They have 3 non-basics. What if I just go Ral minus? That can't be that bad.
There's evidence here somewhere.
Okay, well, not great. Not great. I think I do these two.
A new world requires new strategies.
That's big. This does expose me to Wrath, but I don't know. I feel like if they had Wrath, they would have Wrathed last turn instead of casting Overlord. But I could be wrong. Yeah. Rip. Yeah. Oh, no! Fuck. Oh, that's so bad. Alright, well, Link's DD. That's, like, as bad as it could have been. I thought for sure they would have cast the Wrath last turn. Go. I'm gonna save the map. And now they go Voice into Overlord. That's also worst case scenario. Okay, that I can live with. Gain 3 life. What green Verge? Blue-green. Blue-green is blue on the front side. Can't anal that. Yeah, no way they Wrath. 3 seconds later, opponent casts Wrath. Ah, they were saving up the voices. I see what's going on. I see what you're doing over there. You know, I could really use that ill-timed explosion that I discarded earlier. Could really use that. We simply find it off the RAL.
Observe, analyze, iterate.
Not exactly. It's not exact. Wait, I'm at 3? Oh, right, I took 4 of my links. I was like, wait, how the fuck did I go to 3? Huh. Interesting. Alright, let's go to game 3. Like, wait, how did I end up at 3 that game? They never attacked me. Okay, I want Seers. I want Seer for the voices. I'm gonna cut ill-timed. I don't respect their tokens. Flock handles the tokens anyways. Yeah, the voice just like... The voice attacked me, what, twice that game? I think at least twice. Okay, this hand is not where I want to be. I mean, kind of neither is this, but... Just not gonna mulligan. Double cantrip. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! Can I have a land, please? I think I'm gonna hold up negate this turn. I'm just so scared about Rest in Peace. Just please don't play voice. Come on, don't play voice. Now it's even worse if they cast voice. I mean, surely they didn't draw it. I feel like it should be safe to stock up here. Take... Definitely you. Second Annul or second Flock? I feel like second Annul is better. It's close. The second Flock is really bad if they kill the first Hearth Elemental, so... Let's just do this. Yeah, Annul is just like... Annul counters basically every card that I care about except for Voice of Victory. Ow. This is getting kind of weird. Alright, I'm gonna run this out there. If they can get lost it, that's fine. Cool with that. Because then the next one only costs 2. Because the Hearth... This one will count the other one in the graveyard. Really? Treasure. I think you needed to take Island. Maybe it was a little greedy to not take Island. Ajanye. Ajanye is fine. Land would be really helpful this turn. Yeah, so... I guess this is unfortunate because now they can Wrath me. Oh, they also have a treasure to make another fish here. To protect the Johnny. Elspeth would have been pretty bad there, yeah. Although Elspeth not as bad into the Sunder Flock. Yeah, the island would have looked a lot better here for sure. I mean, realistically, how bad is them Wrathing here? It's not that bad. Like, they go Wrath, make a token. Next turn I play Hearth, hold up Negate. And then the turn after, flock them for 3. Hopefully draw land by then. It's not the worst. No! No! Okay, now it's bad.
My
Now it's very bad.
Stands strong.
So now we, unfortunately can't hold anything up, so... Hope they don't have second Wrath, I guess. Yeah, voice is such a beating against this sideboard plan. Because we rely so heavily on the counter spells. I mean, I did board in back the Seers. I don't really have anything else in my sideboard that can kill a voice. Yeah. No, that's it. Maybe that's an argument for more Seers. Just because voice is such a problem. Okay. I see what's going on here.
Side, friend.
Well... It's not looking great.
I'll just invent a solution.
Still not looking great. Well, fire magic isn't. Oh, you're saying yeah. Maybe another seer over the fire magic, just to be a little bit more insulated against voice. It does seem like the single most problematic card in these kind of matchups, because you just rely so heavily on the counter spells post board.
I will not stand down.
All right, do your worst.
A solution.
Do your worst. I do lose my Ral this way. Maybe that was a bad play. Could have left back the Hearth Elemental at least. Yeah, I should have left this back.
I blame it on the tail.
Jesus. Oh, I should have taken the snare. Snare to counter the voice. I should have taken snare for sure. That was bad. Okay, well, never punished. Never punished, I guess. So they're gonna play the voice this turn. Never punished. Always find the second snare. I just knew the second one was in the next 5. This seems like a near impossible matchup. Okay, yeah, you win. You win. I'm out of here. I yield. I've seen enough. I mean, their land draws them 4 cards. Like, what am I supposed to do? The 341st Badger Mole Cup player. I mean... Would you guys be mad if I kept this hand? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how upset would you be if I click keep? I'm wildin'. I mean, if they're playing a cup deck and I draw a blue-red dual land, I think I win by default. I'm gonna keep it. Bro, there's no way this is 3 white control decks in a row. There's no way that's possible, right? Okay, sure. Well, Snare is also good against that. I wonder how this matchup is. Fuck. Shh. It do. If only there was a way that I could have avoided this. Oh, okay. He's cooking. Clarion Conqueror. I'll allow that. I will simply allow the... It's honestly, it's worse for them than it is for me. That is unfortunate, but I have no response. I'm actually going to kill the Sarkin here. Because I need to save the Seer for a bigger creature than Tutu. Okay. I mean, I wish it was a red Saurus, but I have to keep that. There we go. See, I'm going to win this game. You guys thought I was going to lose. Is there any reason to Seer... Oh, I could just play Hearth Elemental. I'm going to do that. I forgot that I could just cast Hearth Elemental this turn. This matchup looks free. I mean, they have kill spells for Hearth Elemental. If they cast Get Lost on my Hearth Elemental, I'm like, I can't do anything. They also play Rest in Peace in the sideboard. I don't think this matchup is like... I don't think it's that good. Mostly, like, especially after board with Rest in Peace. The post-board games are going to be a lot tougher. Yeah, maybe game 1 is easy, but... Okay. That card deals 5 damage. I had a 4/5. Okay, that's GG. That literally is GG. I could have flocked him, but I think I'd rather just kill the Clarion. Get this guy out of here. Get this guy out of here. Sure. Funny enough, I don't actually want to bounce that. Two on the bottom. They have 3 cards in hand. Alright, I'll grab your ass. Spell Snare. Well, I guess I can bounce it now. Alright, fine. I was thinking about casting Burst Lightning on it, but now I'll just snare it if they cast it again. I was going to burst it, but this is probably fine. That could also just be bait for 2 mana deal 5. Yeah, whatever, you can have that. Yeah, because they could have the Twin Maw. Which means I probably should have bursted it if I was going to hold this for Twin Maw. Mm-hmm. He sees all the lines. He sees all of the lines. I'm just going to go upstairs. Odds they block? 0%. Alright. So, how exactly do we go about handling Rest in Peace in the post-board games? When I don't really want to board in a null. Because they just don't have enough targets for a null. This is kind of tricky, isn't it? Lynx in the side seems like a choice. Dude, Lynx is good. Really? Have we got any basics? You guys realize that you're allowed to board in Sunspine Lynx only against the decks that it's good against. Like, you're not going to board in Sunspine Lynx against Mono Red. And against the control decks, like, you don't care about taking 6 damage. Ignore Rest in Peace. I mean, if you want to ignore Rest in Peace, you have to add the Sunspines and the Rals. But I don't think I want to add the Sunspines against them. That's the problem. It's tricky. Very, very tricky. Press this deck didn't fall into Talent Boomerang. I don't think you can play Talent in a deck that has 4 Crab, 4 Hearth Elemental, and 4 Sunderflock. Like, you already have 12 non-spells, and you just don't have enough. You don't have that much room to play more non-spells. I think I'm gonna... I don't even want the Rouse, man. I don't think the Rouse are good against them. All right, I'm just gonna... we're just gonna see how this works. See how this plays out. Yeah, that's what we tried to do. We didn't find any deck lists, but I found a list. I actually did find a list from Portland. Somebody played this in Portland to a 5-4 finish. Chat sent me a deck list. So I took that list from Portland and I made a couple of changes. I mean, ill-timed Hearth Elemental is kind of sick. What? They misclick? How did their Boros Dragons deck keep a hand without dragons? You can't do that. That's not allowed. It's just simply not allowed. Charming Prince. I guess if I hit Spell Snare, I would counter it, but... maybe they have Rest in Peace and they're just playing around me having a Spell Snare. Hi, Ed. Everybody say hi, Ed. Alright, well, I guess you can rip me. I'm definitely not taking a second Ed in case they have rip. I'm going to take these two. Oh, fuck, I have to discard the hand size. Shit. What if I don't want to? Can I just not do that? Discard second explosion or land? If I discard the second explosion, it is going to tip their hand off. That's the problem. So I don't want to discard the second one because then it basically tells them I have the first one. You know what I mean? So I can't really afford to discard it there. I think land is fine. Timeout and let Arena choose. Let Jesus take the wheel. What do you think? Arena would probably discard my my stock up. They always discard the best card in your hand. It's good against my explosion. Annoyingly good against my explosion. I'm not getting Rest in Peace, though, which is good. So... we do kind of need to flock their ass soon. Why do they keep nicing me? Should mention that considering that Shahar had 2 game losses with elementals yesterday with auto tapper and starting town killing him. Well, we're not playing starting town. There's a reason for that. Hi, Ed. What's up, Ed? How you doing, buddy? That's 7. So, explosion into Hearth Elemental? Probably. They still have 3 cards in hand, though. I don't feel great about this. Sunspine? I'm too far behind for Sunspine to be good here. Ill-timed explosion. 1 and... Wait, hold on. Can I do this? I can, right? It's a trigger, isn't it? Yo, we're learning things. Oh, yeah. Gaming! Hell yeah, dude. See ya! That's a nice play right there. Okay, these flood mods should be more bounce-offs for sure. That was a nice line. Okay, well... It's not gonna matter, but... I tried, man, I tried. They have 2 in hand. I guess we can just hardcast grab next turn. Alright, go. This might be fine. 6 mana 4/5. I think you meant to say 7 mana 5/5. That's what I think you meant to say. I don't want to put myself in Hellkite range, so I think I want to kill the Sarkin, just like try to stay at 7. Four to sack that. Well, I mean, I'm just gonna hold up grab. Nice rest in peace, bozo. That's fine. I mean, if they tap out for Hellcat, I think I'm fine with that. Do they play Burst Lightning? Usually, yeah, usually they do. So staying above 4 would be kind of nice here. Yeah, we're trying to see if we can figure out a way to recreate the Is It Spell Elemental stack from the Pro Tour. I mean, I think if you know the deck has Hearth Elemental, Eddymer Crab, and Sunderflock, like, you just put those cards in the deck, you add some cantrips, some kill spells, some stock ups, like... I'm sure that the PT lists are going to be different than what we're playing, but they're probably not going to be that different, you know? Like, maybe by a couple of cards, 10 cards or so, something like that. But the general concept, I would imagine, is probably still the same. Twin Maw. Twin Maw over Hellkite. That's interesting. Yes, that's fine. Yep. I guess they want the Twin Maw to be able to kill the Hearth element, the Eddymer Crab. What if I just let this go and just explode them? Nah, it's probably better to just go crab, untap, flock. Hit them for 5, they go to 10. Yeah, let's just play crab. If my plan was explosion, I wouldn't want to play the crab that turn, but I think this should be fine. That kinda helps. Wish it was a bounce off. That's good. That is really good. Get flocked. Pick 'em up, pick 'em up. Get absolutely flocked. So now they kind of they basically have to cast the Stormbird this turn. I mean, they can go Sarkin, kill Crab, but that's fine. I'm cool with that. Then we just go flock him again, put him to 5. Yeah. Crab down. I repeat, crab down. I mean, if their last card is a Get Lost, that sucks. Their last unknown card. Seems like they're thinking about it. That would be very bad for me. Shit. Last card, Hellkite. That definitely a +1 for bounce off too. If I had bounce off there, that would have been good. I know, right? Yeah. I think that's probably the third time that's come up so far. We were wanting a bounce off over a Flood Maw. All right, my turn. I have 8 mana. Okay, 8 mana is not bad. So cast this for 6 and pass. We can Sear the Sarkhan this turn. Yeah, Sear the Sarkhan, next turn play Flock. We need them to not draw another Get Lost. If they draw a Get Lost this turn, we're in trouble. Only got 2 basics left. Okay, that's good news. You're 10. We can put them to 2. Oh no, we can't put them to 2 because I can't cast the Burst Lightning. Well, now they go to 4. They're just dead next turn. Well, no, I'm gonna bounce the Magnetic Hellkite regardless. And now, even if they somehow draw like a Hasty Dragon, I can just Flood Maw it. Untap, burst them. Hold. Hold. I think we're good. I think we're chilling. Uh, 4-1, I think. Pretty sure we're 4-1. One loss being to Mono White control, which did seem like a pretty tough matchup. Into the Flood Maw. GG's. Alright, I'm not sure if this is exactly what, like I said, what the Spell Elemental decks at the Pro Tour are going to look like, but if they look anything like this, they might have a good chance at the Pro Tour, because this deck felt really nice.